Listen to me very closely. What if I told you that God is about to fill your bank account, not by chance, not by luck, not by the hands of men, but by divine orchestration? What if I told you that the same God who created gold, silver, and every resource under heaven has already decided to transfer wealth into your hands? Many hear these words and doubt. They say, "It's impossible. I have nothing. I am surrounded by debt. I am far from abundance." But I tell you today, when God is ready to move, nothing on earth or in hell can stop Him. When God speaks increase, the universe rearranges itself to obey. You are about to witness the supernatural hand of God turning your lack into overflow, your emptiness into abundance, your despair into laughter. God is about to fill your bank account, not just to bless you, but to prove that He is still the provider of all who trust in Him. The power to create wealth does not come from human skill, it comes from God. Many people work endlessly, yet remain in lack because they rely only on their effort. But when the favor of God touches your work, what you earn multiplies beyond the logic. God can bless one decision, one meeting, one opportunity so powerfully that it wipes away years of struggle. This is how God moves, suddenly, unexpectedly, and overwhelmingly. You may be in a season where it feels like everything is still, like nothing is working, but don't be deceived by silence. God works most in the unseen. He is preparing doors of wealth, partnerships of purpose, and miracles of provision that will shock even you. You will stand and say, "This is not the work of my hand, this is the work of God." Do not limit God with your imagination. He does not operate within the boundaries of your salary, your job title, or your education. When God decides to bless, He breaks systems to favor His chosen ones. He will use people who once ignored you to bring resources into your life. He will cause the hearts of kings to remember your name. God has placed you in divine alignment with opportunities that have been waiting for your arrival. You think you are late, but you are right on time. There is no such thing as delay when you walk under God's divine timing. The wealth that belongs to you is stored in heaven's account, and God is about to release it into your hands. But before God fills your bank account, He must first fill your mind. You cannot hold the divine wealth with a fearful mind. Poverty is not only a condition, it is a mindset. Many pray for increase but think in scarcity. They ask for abundance while doubting whether they deserve it. God cannot pour into a vessel that rejects His gift. That is why He is renewing your thoughts first. He is teaching you to see money not as an idol, but as an instrument of purpose. When your heart aligns with His purpose, your hands will attract everything you need. Money will no longer control you. It will serve your destiny. There are moments in life when God decides to accelerate everything. You will look around and see that doors once locked have swung open. You will witness divine speed that others cannot explain. It will not be because of luck or strategy. It will be because God has marked you for divine wealth. When that happens, stay humble. Do not forget that it was not your power that produced it. It was God's favor. God gives to those who remember Him in plenty, not only in need. That is why the truly wealthy in spirit are always grateful, always giving, always aware that they are merely stewards of divine resources. Listen carefully. Wealth is a tool in the hands of those who understand divine purpose. God does not bless you just so you can live in luxury. He blesses you so you can expand His goodness on the earth. When your heart says, "God, whatever you give me, I will use for good, heaven responds. Because the heart that gives without pride will never run dry. God is about to fill your bank account because He trusts that you will not worship the blessing, but the one who gives it. He knows you have walked through seasons of lack without cursing Him. He has seen you honor Him with a little, and now He is ready to trust you with much. When God blesses, He blesses beyond measure. Look at the stars, they are countless. Look at the ocean, it overflows. When God gives, He never gives in portions. He gives in abundance. So why do you expect small miracles? Lift your faith to match the size of God. Stop praying as if you are asking a reluctant giver. God does not struggle to bless His children. He delights in it. He is not calculating whether He can afford to help you. He owns everything. When you understand that your source is unlimited, your fear of shortage disappears. God's wealth does not arrive through greed. It arrives through obedience. Some people chase money and lose themselves. Others chase God and find wealth chasing them. That is the divine order. Seek God's will first, and the resources will come naturally. God never leaves His obedient children empty-handed. Every time you choose integrity over shortcuts, you store treasure in heaven that will manifest on earth. Every time you give, even when it hurts, you prove that your faith is greater than your fear. These moments unlock the flow of divine wealth. You may ask, how can God fill my bank account when everything around me looks dry? My friend, remember this. God specializes in filling emptiness. He multiplies from nothing. He took darkness and created light. He took dust and formed humanity. So, what makes you think He cannot take your small savings, your little effort, your empty account, and transform it into overflow? God does not need much to do much. He only needs your faith. When you believe that He can, heaven begins to move. Faith is the currency of the divine economy. The more you trust, the more you attract. You may have been in a season of testing. Every bill felt heavier. Every delay felt painful. But God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. Before He fills your account, He strengthens your character. Because if your heart is not ready for abundance, wealth becomes a trap. God's process is always protective. He's refining you through hardship so that when the blessing comes, it will not destroy you. Many want the glory without the growth, but God is too wise to give blessings that break you. So if you are still waiting, rejoice. Your preparation is a sign that the blessing is near. There will be a moment, and it will come soon, when you wake up and realize that the struggle has ended. Your debt will disappear. Your business will multiply, and your name will be spoken in rooms of opportunity you never entered. This is how God elevates His faithful ones. You will not need to fight for recognition. God Himself will endorse you. The right people will find you. The right doors will open. And the right opportunities will flow toward you without force. This is divine wealth transfer when God moves resources from the hands of the ungodly to the righteous. He is aligning the earth right now for that transfer, and your name is written in that plan. When God fills your bank account, do not hide your testimony. Speak boldly of His faithfulness, because every story of abundance is a seed of hope for someone still struggling. Your success is not just about you. It's about the people God will bless through you. You are about to become a vessel of provision for others. You will feed families, support communities, build dreams, and fund visions. God is giving you wealth not to make you proud, but to make you powerful for good. You will be the answer to the prayers of many. But remember this truth: wealth without wisdom is waste. God's blessings require stewardship. When He fills your bank account, ask Him for guidance on how to use it. Not every opportunity deserves your investment. Not every request deserves your money. Divine wealth is meant to multiply when directed by divine instruction. If you manage it wisely, it will grow beyond generations. You will not only be blessed, you will establish a legacy of provision that your children and their children will walk in. Do not be surprised when people begin to notice the change in your life. They will wonder how it happened. They will question your methods, but you will know it was God. It was His favor that opened doors, His mercy that covered mistakes, His plan that orchestrated every divine connection. Stay humble, for humility keeps the flow of wealth alive. Pride stops blessing. Gratitude multiplies them. Each time you thank God for what you have, you make room for more. Even now, God is arranging things in your favor. There are contracts waiting to be signed, accounts ready to be credited, ideas waiting to be funded. You may not see it yet, but heaven is not silent. The spiritual transaction has already taken place. It is only a matter of time before it manifests in your reality. You must continue to declare, God is my source. My account will overflow because God has spoken increase over my life. Keep speaking it, because your words create the environment for miracles. What you confess consistently becomes your experience. Some of you are worried because you have made financial mistakes in the past. You think that because you failed before, you have lost your chance. But God does not operate by human records. His mercy rewrites your story. What you lost, He can restore in double measure. Do not let guilt make you believe that you are disqualified. If anything, your failures have qualified you to handle success with wisdom. God is the master of restoration. He specializes in giving people more than they lost. When you begin to see signs of divine increase, don't slow down your faith. This is the time to trust even deeper, because when God opens the floodgates, your faith must expand to receive it. Do not be afraid of big numbers. Do not doubt your capacity to manage abundance. God would not fill your account if He had not already expanded your spirit to handle it. He keeps before He delivers. He strengthens before He supplies. The days of survival are ending. You are moving into a season of surplus. What once drained you will now bless you. The same work that once barely sustained you will now overflow with profit. People who used to pity you will look to you for wisdom. God is rewriting your financial destiny. You are no longer the borrower. You are becoming the lender. You will no longer chase after opportunities. They will chase after you. God is placing a divine mark of abundance upon your life. You must understand that when God fills your bank account, it is not just about numbers. It is about influence. Wealth keeps your voice in places that would otherwise ignore you. God is about to position you in places of impact. Your generosity will shift systems, your ideas will change economies, and your giving will become a form of worship. God is raising you not just as a recipient of wealth, but as a distributor of it. You see, when God decides to lift a person, no force on earth can pull them down. When God declares increase over your life, even the systems designed to keep you poor will begin to favor you. This is how divine wealth operates. It does not need permission from the world to manifest. It flows directly from the authority of God. Some of you have been overlooked for too long. You have been faithful. You have worked hard. You have prayed, and yet it felt as if nothing was changing. But I tell you, the season of silence was never punishment. It was preparation. God was aligning the right circumstances so that when the blessing comes, you will not lose it. He was teaching you endurance, integrity, and discipline, because these are the foundation that hold the true wealth. God never pours His abundance into a heart that still doubts His faithfulness. That is why He allowed certain delays to build your faith until it could sustain what He is about to release. Many people collapse under the weight of blessings they were not ready for. But you, yes, you have been trained in the fire. Every disappointment was a lesson. Every loss was a setup for gain. Every night you cried was watering the seeds of your harvest. And now, the ground is fertile. The harvest is near. The wind of divine provision is blowing toward you, and it carries your name on it. The wealth that God is about to release into your hand is not just for comfort, it is for calling. God blesses people not so they can boast, but so they can build. You are about to become an instrument of transformation. Your prosperity will be the proof that faith works. Your abundance will silence the mockery of those who said you would never rise. God is not filling your account merely to add the numbers, but to add the influence, to add the reach, to add the impact. You will finance visions. You will lift others. You will open doors for those who had no key. That is the true purpose of wealth, to serve the divine will of God on earth. Many think that wealth is evil, but the truth is this: wealth in the wrong hands is dangerous, but wealth in the hands of the righteous is divine power. God is raising a generation that will hold wealth without worshiping it, that will use money as a servant and not as a master. He is calling you to that level, to rise beyond survival into stewardship. When you manage what you have with faithfulness, God multiplies it. That is why the little you have now is not insignificant. It is a seed. When you sow it in obedience, it becomes the doorway to the overflow. Hear this clearly. Poverty is not God's design for your life. Scarcity is not your destiny. God does not delight in watching you beg for what He already prepared for you. You were created to walk in divine abundance, to manifest the fullness of His provision. Everything on earth belongs to God, and you are His creation. Why then would He withhold what is His from you? The delay you have faced is not a denial. It is divine timing. God gives at the appointed time, not when your fear demands it, but when your spirit is mature enough to receive it. Some of you are about to experience financial miracles that defy logic. Money will appear from unexpected places. Debts will be canceled without reason. Contracts you forgot will resurface with greater rewards. You will receive calls that change your financial destiny overnight. This is not fantasy. It is the manifestation of divine favor. When God decides to reward the faithful, He does it in ways that human minds cannot calculate. He will use strangers, system, and circumstances to serve your destiny. You will stand in awe and say, "This is the doing of God." But listen, the moment you begin to receive, never let pride enter your heart. Remember the source. Gratitude is the magnet that keeps blessings flowing. The more thankful you are, the more God entrusts to you. Thank Him not only for what you see, but for what you are expecting. Gratitude is faith in action. It declares that you already believe the promise before you see it fulfilled. And when your gratitude rises like incense to heaven, God releases more. Some of you have been taught to fear money. You were told that wanting abundance is wrong. But let me tell you, desiring the manifestation of God's blessing is not greed. It is alignment. God placed the vision of prosperity in your heart because He wants you to live in provision, not in lack. The enemy uses poverty to humiliate, to limit, to silence the faithful. But God uses wealth to empower, to expand, to glorify His name through your success. Do not apologize for expecting more. You are not asking too much. You are asking the right source. The wealth that is coming will not corrupt you because God has already purified your motives. You no longer desire money for vanity. You desire it for purpose. That is why you are chosen for this divine transfer. God will not give wealth to those who use it to oppress others. He will give it to those who will use it to uplift others. Your increase will become an answer to prayers you have not even heard. You will bless those who never expected help. You will become the channel of divine kindness. When God begins to fill your account, there will be distraction. People will appear to test your character. Some will flatter you, others will envy you. But do not lose your peace. Protect your spirit, because what God gives must be guarded. Wealth without spiritual grounding becomes weakness, but wealth anchored in faith becomes strength. Stay centered in humility. Speak to God daily about your direction. Seek His wisdom in every transaction, because divine wisdom is the greatest wealth. Without it, even gold becomes dust. And let me tell you this truth. Divine wealth is not limited to money. When God fills your account, He fills every area of peace in your home, strength in your body, clarity in your mind, and joy in your spirit. True wealth is the balance of provision and peace. What good is money if your heart is restless? What value is profit if your mind is burdened? God's blessings come with harmony. When He blesses you, He removes sorrow from the equation. Your wealth will not be the kind that torments you. It will be the kind that uplifts you. You are entering the season where what you touch will prosper. You will look at your work and see multiplication. You will see fruit where there was once barrenness. You will start projects that attract divine speed. It will not be normal. It will be supernatural. God will breathe upon your ideas, and they will come alive. The same hand that once struggled to survive will now distribute abundance. You will become a fountain that never runs dry. There will be moments when you will not even understand how it happened. The blessings will come so quickly, you will be in awe. But that is how God moves. He accelerates when the time is right. He will redeem lost years through one breakthrough. You thought you lost time, but God is about to compress decades of blessings into one divine moment. What took others a lifetime will come to you in a single season, because God has remembered you. And when it happens, remain generous. The more you give, the more you grow. Wealth dies when it is held, but multiplies when it is shared. Every act of generosity opens another door of divine supply. Give freely, not out of obligation, but out of revelation that everything you own belongs to God. You are merely the vessel He chose to carry His abundance. When you live like that, you will never lack, because a vessel that keeps flowing can never be empty. You must also understand that divine wealth comes with divine responsibility. God will begin to use you to solve problems around you. You will see need that others ignore, and your heart will burn to act. That is not coincidence. It is divine assignment. Every burden you feel for the broken, the poor, the helpless. It is a signal that God is about to use you to bring relief. He fills your bank account so you can fill the lives of others. This is how His blessings multiply across the earth. So rise in faith. Begin to see yourself as God sees you, not as a struggler, but as a steward of divine prosperity. Speak boldly about what you believe. Declare that your account is blessed, your hands are favored, your path is prosperous. Words shape reality. When you align your speech with faith, your circumstances begin to obey. Stop saying, I am broke. Stop saying, I can. Every negative word is a withdrawal from your spiritual account. Start making deposits of faith through your declarations. Say, God is my provider. My account overflows. My work is blessed. My doors are open. The more you speak it, the faster it manifests. You are about to witness what happens when heaven partners with your obedience. God is bringing divine partnerships, investors, ideas, and mentors your way. Do not fear the new connections. God is orchestrating them for your increase. There are people assigned to your prosperity. Some of them you will meet by accident, but in truth, it will be divine design. Every encounter is part of the greater plan. God's timing is perfect. You may think it's late, but to God, it is always on schedule. The blessing delayed is not the blessing denied. It is simply being refined, prepared, multiplied. When it comes, it will make sense why it took time. The waiting will no longer hurt because the reward will heal every wound. You will look back and realize that every struggle was worth it. Do you know why God sometimes waits before releasing abundance? Because He wants you to understand that true wealth begins in the unseen. Before money ever reaches your account, it must first enter your mind and your heart. The richest people in spirit are not those with gold in their hands, but those with faith in their souls. God is teaching you to think like a steward, not a survivor. He is teaching you to speak like someone who already possesses abundance. Because when your thoughts align with the divine truth, your reality has no choice but to follow. You cannot walk in overflow while thinking in limitation. You cannot attract divine wealth while entertaining fear. Faith is the gateway through which God's blessings flow. And that faith must live in your daily decisions, not only in your prayers. There is a divine law that governs increase. God multiplies what is placed in His hands. If you hold tightly to what you have, it remains small. But if you release it with trust, it becomes multiplied. God's economy does not operate by logic, it operates by faith. When you give, you are not losing, you are planting. Every act of generosity becomes a seed in the soil of heaven. And when heaven's rain falls, the harvest that returns is always greater than what was sown. That is why many miss their miracle. They try to store what they should be sowing. God is not asking you to give because He needs your money. He asks because He wants to enlarge your capacity. Every time you let go in faith, you make room for more. There will come a time, and it is soon, when you will see that every season of lack was a test of trust. God does not test you to destroy you. He tests you to prepare you. Every financial storm you faced was training for the abundance to come. You learned to depend on God when nothing else worked. You learned to see beyond numbers and believe beyond region. That is the kind of faith that heaven responds to. God never ignores faith that refuses to quit. Your prayers have not gone unheard. The silence you felt was not absence, it was construction. God was building your foundation, setting your structure, aligning your path. He cannot pour new blessings into a weak vessel. He had to strengthen you first. Now that your heart has been purified, you are ready to receive what others cannot handle. God is not giving you temporary success. He is giving you sustainable prosperity. Temporary wealth fades, but divine wealth endures. The riches God provides are protected by His wisdom. He gives you not only increase, but the discernment to manage it. That is why your growth may have seemed slow. It is because God was anchoring you deeply, so that when the storm of abundance comes, you will not be uprooted by pride. Every delay was a shield, not a punishment. Every no was a protection from what would have hurt you. God's wait is never rejection. It is divine timing preparing to surprise you with more than you expected. Listen closely, there is a shift happening. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but it has already begun in the spirit. Doors that were locked are turning on their hinges. Ideas that were buried are resurfacing with greater clarity. You will wake up one morning and everything will make sense. The connections, the hardships, the lessons, they were all pieces of a larger puzzle. When God completes the picture, you will see how every struggle was necessary. Because divine wealth is not just about what you have, it's about who you become while receiving it. Some of you are afraid of wealth because you've seen what greed can do. But when God blesses you, He blesses your intentions along with your possessions. You will not fall into arrogance or vanity because your heart will stay anchored in gratitude. You will see money as a means, not a master. You will understand that wealth is not your identity. It is your responsibility. God blesses the humble because they remember that everything belongs to Him. When you hold wealth loosely, He keeps refilling your hands. When you cling to it tightly, it slips away. So keep your palms open. Let generosity be your rhythm. Let kindness be your signature. Because the more you flow, the more you grow. I want you to understand something very deep. Divine wealth is not earned, it is entrusted. It is not the result of your worthiness, but of God's purpose. God chooses to bless you not because you are perfect, but because He wants to reveal His power through your life. He wants people to look at you and say, only God could have done this. Your story is about to become evidence of His reality. The same people who once doubted you will witness your transformation. They will see you rise and know that faith is not a fantasy. God is using your life as a living message that obedience brings reward. But be cautious when increase arrives, so does distraction. Wealth can draw noise into your life. Many voices will seek your attention. Some will praise you, others will envy you, and a few will try to pull you off course. That is why you must stay rooted in prayer. Wealth without spiritual grounding is like a river without borders. It floods and destroys. Keep talking to God about every decision. Seek His direction in your investments, in your partnership, in your spending. God does not want you to simply have money. He wants you to have a mastery over it. True prosperity is peace, not pressure. And hear me well, you are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you. It is waiting for your mindset to align with purpose. It is waiting for your spirit to mature into stewardship. When you finally see yourself as the vessel of God's abundance, resources will begin to chase you. The energy of faith attracts what doubt repels. The moment you start declaring, I am a carrier of divine provision, I am a vessel of God's wealth, you shift the atmosphere around you. Opportunities will begin to notice you. People will begin to trust you. Circumstances will begin to align for you. That is not magic. It is divine order responding to belief. Let me tell you another secret. God often hides wealth in work. The job you complain about might be the field where your harvest is buried. The idea you keep postponing could be the seed of your abundance. The skill you ignore might be the tool God wants to use to open financial doors. Do not despise the small beginnings. God hides big miracles inside ordinary actions. When you walk with excellence, even in obscurity, heaven takes notice. The hands that serve diligently are the same hands God fills abundantly. There is also a divine mystery in movement. When God gives you an instruction, it often looks illogical. He may tell you to give when you need to receive, to move when you want to stay, to speak when you prefer silence. But behind every instruction lies increase. The river of divine wealth flows in the direction of obedience. When you act on God's command, you activate supernatural provision. The greatest miracles in life do not happen because of knowledge. They happen because of obedience. Now listen, with your spirit, you have entered a season where things will happen. Suddenly, divine acceleration is taking place. The opportunities you were chasing will now chase you. The doors you knocked on for years will open on their own. The business you struggled to build will suddenly flourish. The relationships you need will appear without striving. This is not coincidence. It is a divine orchestration. When the heavens declare that it is your time, the earth must align. No delay can hold back what God has scheduled. And in this season, you must carry the consciousness of abundance wherever you go. Stop thinking like a beggar when you serve the Creator of the universe. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit your fear. God cannot pour greatness into small expectations. Lift your thoughts, lift your words, lift your prayers. Ask boldly, believe boldly, expect boldly, because you serve a God who gives without measure. You do not need to beg, just believe. You do not need to chase, just trust. When your heart is aligned, what is meant for you cannot miss you. Soon, you will see numbers you never imagined. You will sign contracts you never dreamed of. You will manage resources that once seemed impossible. But none of it will overwhelm you, because God will have prepared your soul to handle it. You will walk in peace amidst abundance. You will remain generous amidst success. You will remember that everything flows from the source. This is the kind of wealth that cannot be lost because it is anchored in the eternal, not the temporary. And even as your bank account fills, you will feel a deeper joy, not just in having, but in helping. You will understand the sacred joy of giving. You will feed the hungry, educate the forgotten, and empower the broken. That is how God multiplies blessings, by turning the blessed into blessings for others. You will look at the smile of someone you help and realize that this is the true meaning of wealth, to be a vessel of God's compassion expressed through provision. The time has come for the faithful to rise. God is transferring resources from the hand of those who misuse them to those who honor Him. The world is shifting. The wealth of the selfish will find its way into the hand of the righteous. And those who once struggled in silence will now rise in strength. God is creating a new flow of abundance in this generation, and you are part of it. You are not watching this by accident. You are hearing this because heaven has chosen you as a carrier of divine prosperity. Do not fear what is coming. Prepare for it. The blessing will be heavy, but you will have the strength to carry. The abundance will be great, but you will have the wisdom to manage it. The opportunities will be many, but you will have the discernment to choose well. Because God never gives you what will destroy you. He only gives you what will develop you. He fills your bank account only when He has already filled your soul with strength, humility, and purpose. So lift your head high and declare it, I am ready for divine abundance. I am ready for financial overflow. I am ready for the wealth God has ordained for me. Say it until every cell in your body believes it. Because words shape destiny. Speak wealth until it becomes your reality. Speak favor until it finds you. Speak prosperity until it overflows. You are not just hoping for blessings, you are commanding them through faith. And as you walk into this new chapter, know this truth deeply. Your abundance will glorify God, not your ego. Your wealth will testify of His goodness, not your genius. Your prosperity will point back to His power, not your plans. Because when God fills your account, He fills it so the world can see that He is still the God who provides. And no man, no system, no economy can reverse that. The divine decree has been spoken. Your time of lack has ended, and your season of overflow has begun. God is about to fill your bank account, and your life will never be the same again. God said, it's all planned for the end of November. When you hear those words, something deep in your spirit begins to move. Because when God speaks of timing, He speaks of destiny. When He says, it's all planned, He's not talking about coincidence. He's talking about divine orchestration moments already written in heaven, waiting for their appointed time to unfold on earth. And now that appointed time is near, the end of November will not be ordinary. It will not be like other months. For some, it will be the moment of divine reversal. For others, it will be the birthing of what they prayed for, cried for, and waited on through seasons of silence. You see, God works in silence before He works in power. Before His move becomes visible, His plan becomes settled. The heavens are already in agreement with what is about to happen. You may not see the signs yet, but they are forming quietly, powerfully, precisely. The same way a seed grows unseen beneath the soil. Your breakthrough is germinating in places you cannot touch, cannot see, and cannot control. God has already scheduled your release. You think you are waiting on Him, but He's been waiting on His moment, the one He designed long before you even began to pray about it. At the end of November, the plan of God will speak. It will speak loudly through results. Those who mocked you will watch in silence as the hand of God lift you to places no human expected. Because when God plans a thing, no enemy can cancel it. No delay can erase it. And no betrayal can block it. What's coming has been divinely authorized. Every struggle you've endured until now was not random. It was rehearsal for revelation. It was part of the design. Many of you have been walking through a season of contradiction. You believe one thing, but seen the opposite. You prayed for increase, but watched decrease. You've asked for direction, but felt confusion. You've looked for open doors, but faced closed ones again and again. But hear this clearly, the contradiction was proof of your calling. The opposition was confirmation of your future. God allows contradiction not to break your faith, but to test its authenticity. He wanted to see if you would still trust Him when the promise seemed delayed, when your strength was gone, when your prayers felt unanswered. Because those who pass the test of silence are the ones who inherit the sound of glory. The end of November is not about a date on a calendar. It's about divine timing converging with the human readiness. God has been preparing you secretly, stripping away what cannot survive in your next season. That's why relationships shifted. That's why doors closed. That's why some of your plans fell apart, not because you failed, but because God was protecting the plan. He could not allow you to reach your destination attached to the wrong people or weighed down by the wrong distractions. So He separated you, refined you, and taught you how to stand alone with Him. You thought you were losing, but you were being positioned. There is a mystery in how God works. He hides blessings behind pain, purpose behind pressure, and growth behind isolation. Those who have learned to trust Him in isolation are about to walk into manifestation. The end of November will be a season when hidden faith becomes visible favor. Everything that was underground in your life will begin to rise. And it will not rise slowly, it will rise suddenly, like light breaking through the dawn. You will feel it in your spirit before you see it with your eyes. Something inside you will begin to say, this is it. This is the shift I've been waiting for. Some of you have been carrying a promise for years, and you've wondered if you misheard God. But God says, I didn't forget. I was just waiting for the perfect alignment of time, place, and people. He's been preparing the hearts of others to receive you. He's been preparing systems to favor you. He's been preparing circumstances to bless you. And now heaven's calendar is pointing to November not as an ending, but as a beginning. Every delay in your life has been divine. Every setback has been sacred. God has been writing a story that requires patience to understand. You see, He does not rush the righteous. He refines them. He doesn't waste pain. He recycles it into purpose. And when the appointed time comes, all the pieces will fit together. You'll see that what you called the disappointment was actually direction. What you called rejection was a redirection. What you called waiting was preparation. God never wastes time. He uses it. So don't be discouraged by how long it's taken. God doesn't measure progress by speed. He measures it by depth. He's been deepening your roots so that when He lifts you, you'll be unshakable. He's been training your spirit to handle abundance. Because sudden blessing can destroy an unprepared heart. You've been praying for promotion, but God's been preparing your posture. You've been asking for overflow, but He's been shaping your capacity. Because when He releases His plan, He doesn't want you to collapse under the weight of it. At the end of November, many will witness what happens when God's timing meets human obedience. Those who refuse to give up will step into what others forfeited through impatience. Those who stayed faithful when it was painful will see favor when others see confusion. God's plan is not partial, it's complete. Every missing piece in your life will begin to make sense. The puzzle will come together. The confusion will clear. The delay will deliver clarity. And the very thing that made you cry will soon make you grateful. Listen carefully. The greatest battles happen right before divine fulfillment. That's why this moment has felt like chaos. The enemy always stirs the storm before the calm because he knows the calm is dangerous. He knows peace is the proof that God has spoken. So He sent distraction, discouragement, and fear to shake your confidence. But don't lose your peace now. You are closer than you think. The pressure you're under is a sign that the plan is near. God said it's all planned. That means even the parts you don't understand are included. The betrayals, the delays, the failures, the closed doors, all were necessary to shape your faith. If any of those moments were removed, your preparation would be incomplete. God doesn't plan comfort. He plans transformation. He doesn't plan convenience. He plans growth. Every tear you've shed has watered the soil of your next season. Every heartbreak has purified your motives. Every disappointment has burned away pride. You are being refined for glory. At the end of November, something will shift in the atmosphere. Many will feel a divine urgency, a stirring to move, a sense of clarity they haven't had before. It won't come from effort. It will come from alignment. Suddenly, you will know what to do. Suddenly, you will see why things didn't work before. Suddenly, opportunities that were once locked will open without struggle. That's how God moves suddenly, yet strategically. When He says it's all planned, He means nothing is missing. He's not improvising. He's not adjusting. He's fulfilling. You are walking into a season already designed to favor you. The script was written before the battle began. And when the divine script is in motion, no human resistance can rewrite it. The only thing that can stop you now is doubt. That's why you must protect your faith fiercely in this season. Guard your thoughts. Guard your words. Speak only what aligns with the plan. The power of God's plan manifests through faith. Faith is not passive belief. It's active trust. It's walking in peace while you wait. It's declaring victory when nothing looked victorious. It's believing that God's silence is not absence, but strategy. Those who live in that kind of faith will see sudden acceleration at the end of November. Doors will open, hearts will soften, paths will appear where there were none. You will realize that what you thought was delay was divine choreography. God was setting the stage for your unveiling. Some of you have been hidden on purpose. God hid you not because you weren't ready, but because others weren't ready for you. He kept you in obscurity to preserve your purity. He didn't want your gift exposed too soon. But when His time comes, no man can hide you. You'll step into visibility without striving. The right eyes will find you. The right opportunities will recognize you. The right support will surround you. God's timing always brings alignment. This is why you must not rush. The greatest mistake you can make right now is to try to make things happen in your own strength. Don't force what God has already planned. Don't try to accelerate what He has already scheduled. Patience is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's trusting that God knows what you don't. He sees the full picture while you only see fragments. So wait with faith, not frustration. The end of November will justify your patience. You will look back and say, now I understand. Every no will make sense. Every delay will reveal its purpose. Every silent night will shine with revelation. Because when the plan unfolds, understanding follows. God never explained before. He performs, then He reveals. And when He reveals, your heart will overflow with gratitude. Some of you have been praying for financial breakthrough, and God says, it's all planned. You thought you lost opportunities, but He's creating better ones. You thought the door closed, but He's building a new one. He's aligning resources, people, and timing to bring abundance in a way that glorifies Him. Don't worry about how. Just stay aligned with the plan. Favor will locate you. Provision will pursue you. What was once withheld will be released suddenly. Others have been praying for healing, for peace, for restoration. God says, it's already written. Healing is not coming, it's a schedule. Peace is not a dream, it's appointed. Restoration is not delayed, it's developing. You're not waiting for a miracle. The miracle is waiting for its moment. Trust that every day until the end of November is preparation for that unveiling. Your job now is to stay in alignment. Keep your spirit clean, your faith strong, your words positive. Don't curse the process that's bringing your promise. Speak only life. Expect only victory. Believe that the best days are ahead, not behind. Because when God plans a thing, the past cannot compete with the future. The end of November is more than a season. It's a divine intersection. Heaven is about to meet earth in your life. Everything you've been believing for, fasting, for crying for, will start aligning visibly. You won't need to chase it. You'll attract it. Because what's meant for you cannot miss you when it's God planned. And when that time comes, you won't need to explain yourself to anyone. The result will speak. The peace will show. The favor will prove that it was never about luck, it was about divine design. God said it's all planned. And when God plans, He performs. When He performs, He perfects. And when He perfects, He glorifies His name through your life. You have come too far to doubt now. Hold your faith. Guard your hope. Keep your heart aligned. Because before this month ends, you will know without question that every waiting season had purpose. And every tear was part of the plan. There are moments in time when heaven itself leans closer to the earth, when the divine plan begins to whisper to your spirit that something is about to change. This is one of those moments. God said it's all planned for the end of November. That means what you could not make happen in months, what seemed impossible in your human strength, what seemed closed and unreachable will unfold by the hand of God in His perfect timing. There is divine movement happening even now. The unseen realm is alive with preparation. Angels are at work, setting things in motion. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. That unease in your spirit, that sudden burst of hope, that unexpected peace after a season of chaos, it is the sign that the plan is active. For too long, you've questioned yourself, wondering if your prayers were lost, if your sacrifices were ignored, if your faith was in vain. But hear this clearly. Nothing you have done in obedience has gone unnoticed by God. Every seed of faith you planted, every tear of trust you cried, every act of quiet endurance you offered, all of it has been recorded in the divine timeline. The moment you prayed, heaven began to move, but God has been aligning the timing. Timing is everything with Him. He's not random, He's precise. He doesn't bless out of impulse. He blesses by design. So when He says it's all planned, He means the blueprint is finished. The stage is set. The divine order has been signed into reality. When God plans something, He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't consult your circumstances. He simply declares, and it becomes. You may be surrounded by impossibilities, but impossibility has no voice. When God has spoken, you may not know how, you may not know when, but the certainty is that God's word will never fail. What He has designed for you cannot be undone by fear, failure, or frustration. It will happen at the appointed time, and that appointed time is approaching. The end of November will not simply be a date. It will be a demonstration. It will be the evidence that faith is never wasted. God has been writing a chapter in your life that you didn't even know was necessary. The hardship you went through was not punishment. It was purification. The waiting was not delay. It was development. Every closed door trained your discernment. Every betrayal tested your dependence. Every unanswered prayer expanded your patience. God has been sculpting your spirit, shaping your attitude, molding your heart for what's coming next. Understand this: God cannot pour abundance into an unprepared vessel. He must refine you before He rewards you. He must strengthen your foundation before He raises your structure. That's why you have been under pressure. Pressure is the final stage before breakthrough. Pressure is what turned invisible promise into visible reality. It's what transforms the raw material of faith into the manifestation of glory. So do not despise the pressure. Embrace it. Because if you are feeling the weight, it means the plan is near completion. God said it's all planned, meaning He has already calculated every detail. The people you will meet, the opportunities that will open, the resources that will appear out of nowhere, all of it is written into His schedule for your life. Nothing will happen by accident. Even what seems like a coincidence will be divine choreography. You look back and realize that every encounter, every delay, every disappointment was a link in the chain of destiny. The perfection of God's plan is revealed only when you stop trying to control it. That's why God sometimes allows confusion to strip you of the illusion that you are in charge. He let plans collapse so you can see that His hand alone sustains your future. He let people walk away so you will know that your dependence must be on Him, not on human approval. When everything around you feels unstable, it's because God is shifting the ground beneath your feet to position you for higher territory. What looked like a fall was actually a step. What looked like a loss was actually a lift. You've been through enough. To know by now that God doesn't rush. He reveals, He unfolds, He manifests. You might think nothing is happening, but in God's timing, nothing is often the sign that everything is being set in order. When you see no evidence, trust that heaven is busy. When you feel silence, understand that planning is taking place. God is not ignoring you. He's arranging the details. The reason it hasn't happened yet is because the right moment hasn't met the right readiness. But when that intersection comes, when readiness meets timing, the outcome will be unstoppable. At the end of November, divine readiness will meet divine timing. Those who have prepared their hearts, who have refused to complain, who have continued to walk in integrity, despite delay, they will see what others only dreamed about. The plan of God is not just to bless you, it is to establish you. He wants your success to last, your peace to be permanent, your influence to be purposeful. That's why it's taken this long. Quick blessings fade fast, but blessings built on obedience endure forever. This is why you must not let weariness steal your faith. Many give up right before the appointed moment. They let discouragement silence their hope. They let comparison corrupt their confidence. But you must not do that now. You've come too far. You've fought too hard. You've endured too much. The seed of destiny within you is about to bloom. And only those who remain planted through the storm will see the flower of fulfillment. Don't uproot your faith because the soil feels dry. The rain is coming. The end of November will bring the water your seed has been waiting for. When God said it's all planned, He meant that even the waiting has purpose. You are not stuck. You are being scheduled. Your life is following a rhythm that heaven has composed. Every event has meaning. Every encounter has purpose. Even your mistakes are being used as a material for mercy. God is not limited by your flaw. He transformed them into fuel for your future. What others meant for harm, He has turned into hidden help. The very people who tried to bury you will one day watch you rise. Because when the plan of God matures, those who underestimated you will have no choice but to acknowledge that His hand was upon you all along. This season requires your spiritual focus. The distractions will increase as the divine hour approaches. You may notice unusual attacks, sudden fatigue, or people trying to pull you into unnecessary battles. That's not coincidence, that's resistance. The closer you get to your divine moment, the louder the noise becomes. Don't answer it. Silence is your strategy. Prayer is your power. Stillness is your weapon. God does not need your panic. He needs your peace. The plan will unfold without your striving. Just stay still, stay faithful, and stay alert. Some of you will begin to notice divine hints, unusual coincidences, inner promptings, sudden opportunities. Don't dismiss them. God speaks through signs, but only the sensitive can perceive them. He will nudge you, lead you, and whisper direction that make no logical sense, but carry divine purpose. When that happens, obey quickly. Delay in obedience can delay manifestation. Every instruction in this season is connected to your promotion. Move when God says move. Rest when He says rest. Speak when He says speak. And watch how everything aligns effortlessly. You may feel tired, but strength is coming. You may feel overlooked, but favor is being prepared. You may feel behind, but in the divine timeline, you are right on schedule. God is not finished. He's about to reveal the reason for every closed chapter. You've been asking why, but soon you will say, now I see. You'll understand why certain people left, why certain doors shut, why certain prayers took longer to be answered. The plan will reveal its perfection through hindsight. When God reveals His plan, it always exceeds expectation. He never gives halfway blessing. He restores beyond measure. He multiplies what was lost. He turns mourning into momentum. He turns failure into foundation. And when He blesses, He does so in a way that leaves no doubt that it was Him alone. People will look at your life and know this was not luck. This was not chance. This was the evidence of divine order. So prepare your heart. November's end will not be the end of your waiting. It will be the end of your wandering. You will see movement. You will see clarity. You will see results. The plan will not remain hidden forever. God is too faithful to leave your destiny suspended in uncertainty. The time for manifestation is near. Hold on to your faith as if it were oxygen, because it is your lifeline to the promise. The key now is surrender. Let go of control. Stop trying to calculate what God has already concluded. Stop analyzing what He has already ordained. The more you surrender, the faster the plan unfolds. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means trusting completely. It means saying, God, I believe You even when I can't predict You. It means knowing that His way is higher, His timing is better, and His wisdom is beyond your understanding. Those who surrender will see speed. Those who resist will face delay. The more you align your heart, the smoother the path becomes. God doesn't want you to strive. He wants you to flow with His purpose. The plan has momentum, and your obedience fuels it. Every act of faith pushes it forward. Every word of gratitude attracts its manifestation. The end of November will not come quietly, it will come with evidence. Those who have believed will testify. Truly, God planned it all along. Every part of your story will testify that divine wisdom was at work. Nothing will be wasted. Even the pain will have purpose. Even the delay will be crowned with divine design. God's timing will prove that He never forgot, never failed, never abandoned you. You may have doubted Him, but He never doubted you. He knew what you were capable of enduring. He trusted you with the waiting because He knew you would not collapse under it. And now, because you have remained, because you have believed, because you have held on when others let go, your season of divine fulfillment is here. The plan is already in motion. Heaven is counting down to its appointed time. Keep your heart steady, your spirit calm, and your faith unshaken. The end of November will not be the end of your struggle. It will be the beginning of your reward. There is something sacred about waiting at the edge of fulfillment. It is a holy tension where faith meets reality, where your prayers begin to echo louder in the realm of manifestation. God said, it's all planned for the end of November. Those words are not random. They are divine confirmation that the shift you've been sensing, the stirring in your heart, the unusual peace that doesn't make sense amid the chaos are all signs that the plan is entering its visible phase. The same God who created the seasons, who makes the tides obey their appointed time, is the same God who has scheduled your transformation. When He declares that it is planned, it means the hour has already been written in the invisible scrolls of destiny. You must understand, nothing in your life is accidental. Every delay has been divine, every setback intentional. God does not work in confusion. He works in clarity concealed by time. He will let you walk through uncertainty, not because He wants you lost, but because He wants you anchored. He allows the unknown so your faith can grow beyond understanding. What you cannot see, you must believe. And when belief matures, it produces the kind of faith that commands miracles. Many have been asking, when will it happen? When will my breakthrough come? But God's plan is not measured by your clock. It is measured by your readiness. He has been preparing your heart for a season of sudden exposure. That is why He isolated you. That is why you felt hidden. That is why your name was not mentioned when others were being celebrated. God hides what He values until the time is right. A diamond is never found on the surface. It is hidden deep until it's ready to be revealed. So if you've been in the dark, don't curse it. It's your preparation room. The end of November will reveal that what was concealed was not forgotten. God was protecting you from premature exposure. The spotlight that comes from man fades, but the unveiling that comes from God carries permanence. When He decides to reveal you, it will not just be recognition, it will be redemption. He will redeem your years, your tears, your labor, and your faith. Every sacrifice you made in silence will find its reward in His perfect timing. God's plan for you was not designed to impress people. It was designed to glorify Him. That is why you couldn't fit in with everyone else's story. You couldn't rush your journey because your process carries purpose. You weren't meant to copy, you were meant to carry divine originality. God's plan for you requires uniqueness, and uniqueness often feels like isolation. You may have felt alone, misunderstood, or even abandoned, but all the while, God was setting you apart for a reason bigger than your comfort. At the end of November, the separation will make sense. You will realize that those who left were necessary exit. You will understand that the silence was a sign of sacred construction. You will finally see why certain prayers weren't answered the way you imagined, because God was preparing something you didn't even have the words to ask for. He's not giving you what you expected. He's giving you what eternal. Many people live their life trying to plan what only God can orchestrate. They write strategies, chase opportunities, and rely on effort instead of alignment. But when the plan of God is in motion, you don't chase, you attract. You don't strive, you flow, because God's plan brings grace, and grace makes the impossible effortless. What was hard before will suddenly become easy. What seemed out of reach will begin to move toward you. You will stand still, and doors will open that no human could have unlocked. When God plans something, it comes with divine order. It's not chaotic. It's not confusing. It carries peace even in uncertainty. You will know it's God not because it happens fast, but because it happens right. And when it happens, you won't need to explain it. The results will be your evidence. The peace will be your confirmation. The favor will speak louder than words. But understand this, the revelation of the plan is not the end. It is the beginning of stewardship. What God gives you, He expects you to guard. The blessings of the end of November will require maturity. You must protect what God reveals. Do not boast. Do not rush to share. Do not expose. What is meant to grow quietly. Some things are not meant to be announced. They are meant to be nurtured. What is born in privacy carries greater strength. God will trust those who know how to keep silent while the miracle develops. The enemy cannot destroy the plan, but he can distract you from it. That's why, as your moment approaches, distraction will increase. People will suddenly appear. Situations will arise to pull your focus. Emotions will try to cloud your clarity. But you must remain centered on God. Protect your peace as if it were a treasure, because peace is the signal of divine presence. When you lose your peace, you lose direction. And in this season, direction is everything. God's plan for you is bigger than your imagination. He is not just bringing you out of a struggle, He's bringing you into significance. He's not just restoring what you lost, He's multiplying it. What's coming is not compensation, it's elevation. But elevation always comes with testing. You must pass the test of humility, gratitude, and discernment. Pride destroys plans. Ingratitude delays them. And poor discernment exposes them to danger. So walk humbly, thank God deeply, and listen for His whisper before you make your moves. As the end of November draws near, some will experience divine acceleration. Things that took years will happen in days. Closed doors will open with no logical explanation. People who ignored you will begin to seek you. Opportunities you didn't apply for will call your name. This is the power of divine alignment. When the plan matures, you will not have to chase what belongs to you, will be drawn to your spirit. You will find yourself in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, because heaven has arranged the encounter. Do not underestimate the suddenness of God. He moves quietly for a long time, then manifests loudly in a single moment. One moment can change everything. One divine encounter can rewrite years of pain. One act of obedience can open doors for generations after you. That's why you must remain sensitive and expectant. Expectation is not fantasy, it's faith in motion. Expectation is the magnet for manifestation. When you believe that something divine is near, your spirit attracted. Many will not understand what's happening in your life when the plan unfolds. They will think it's luck, but you will know it's the outcome of divine order. You will know it's the result of hidden obedience, unseen prayer, and unshakable faith. And when that moment comes, do not forget who did it. Do not take credit. Return the glory where it belongs. Because the moment you acknowledge the source, the flow continues. Gratitude keeps the gates open. Arrogance closes them. At the end of November, you will stand as living proof that God fulfills what He promises. You will testify that faith is never in vain. You will realize that even in silence, God was speaking through your situation. He was teaching you endurance, molding your heart, and positioning your path. And when you see what He has prepared, you will know why it took so long. You will know that every unanswered question, every lonely night, every uncertain step, all led here to this divinely appointed hour. Keep your spirit pure. Keep your heart soft. Don't allow bitterness to block your blessing. Forgive those who wronged you. They were instruments in your preparation. Release the past. It cannot serve you in the new. Embrace what's coming with open hands, because what God is about to place in them will be heavier, holier, and higher than anything you've carried before. The plan is perfect. The timing is set. The release is near. God said it's all planned for the end of November, and when God speaks, time obeys, creation aligns, and destiny unfolds. The waiting is almost over. Prepare your heart. The plan is about to be revealed, and your life will never be the same again. There are moments in life when you look at the road ahead and realize you do not know where you are going. You wake up with plans, with goals, with dreams, but something inside you whispers, there must be more than this. You see, human wisdom can only take you so far. The mind can strategize, but it cannot see the unseen. The heart can desire, but it cannot discern the hidden path. That is why you must allow God to lead you every single day of your life. Because when God leads you, even the wilderness becomes a way. When God leads you, even the impossible bends to His command. When God leads you, confusion turns into clarity, weakness turns into strength, and fear turns into faith. Too many people live as though they are their own guide. They wake up and chase what they want. They fight for what they think they deserve. They plan without asking. They move without listening. And they end up wondering why peace never comes. But a person who allows God to lead them does not live in confusion. They may walk through storms, but they walk with direction. They may be surrounded by noise, but they move in silence because they know that God's leadership is not about speed, it's about purpose. It's not about what looks right, it's about what is right. When God leads you, He will sometimes take you through valleys not to punish you, but to prepare you. He will close doors not to limit you, but to protect you. He will delay certain things not to deny you, but to develop you. When you allow God to lead you, you stop fighting the process and start trusting the purpose. Every day is a new battlefield. The mind is pulled in many directions. The world shouts its opinions. People project their expectations, and anxiety creeps into the soul. But there is one thing that will always silence the chaos. When you surrender your steps to God, because God does not need your strength, He needs your submission. He does not require your control, He desires your trust. When you wake up and say, God, I do not know what this day holds, but I know you hold it, that is when the supernatural begins to flow. That is when doors open that no man can shut. That is when peace enters that no storm can destroy. The problem is not that God is silent. The problem is that we are too loud. We are too busy talking, too busy worrying, too busy planning, too busy trying to fix what only God can fix. But if you would just pause, if you would just be still and allow Him to lead, you would realize that His direction is always better than your decision. Allowing God to lead you is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is not passivity, it is power. Because you are acknowledging that you do not see the full picture, but He does. You are saying, I may not understand why this happened, but I trust the one who knows why. You are declaring, even when I can't trace the pattern, I can trust the plan. This is not blind faith. It is sacred faith. It is the kind of faith that moves mountains, calms storms, and builds nations. It is the kind of faith that does not crumble when life shakes you, because it stands on something unshakable. God's leading. When you allow God to lead, your steps will confuse those who don't understand your spiritual rhythm. They will wonder why you're calm when others are panicking. They will wonder why you're silent when others are shouting. They will wonder why you walk away from opportunities that seem perfect. But what they do not see is that you are being led by a divine compass. They do not understand that your timing is not determined by the world's clock. It is aligned. It is aligned with God's season. And when God leads you, you begin to value obedience over opportunity. You stop chasing everything that shines and start waiting for what's divine. Because not everything that looks good is sent by God. Sometimes the enemy decorates distractions to look like blessings. But when you allow God to lead, you will see through the disguise. You will discern what others cannot detect. You will walk with an inner knowing that cannot be taught. It can only be received from above. To allow God to lead you every day means to begin each morning in surrender, not in strategy. It means before you move, you pause. Before you decide, you pray. Before you speak, you listen. Because when you put God first, everything else falls into divine order. You will notice that even the smallest choices begin to align with purpose. You will sense His whisper saying, go here. You will feel His nudge saying, not now. You will experience moments where everything inside you says yes, but God says, wait. And you will learn that waiting on God is never wasted time. It is preparation time. He leads you not only by direction, but by delay. He leads you not only by open doors, but by closed ones. He leads you not only by clarity, but sometimes by silence. Because sometimes God's silence is not absence. It is instruction. It is His way of training your ear to trust His timing. Many people pray for God's blessings, but reject His leading. They want His promises without His process. They want His rewards without His requirements. But when you allow God to lead you, you accept that His way is higher than yours. You stop asking why and start saying thank you. Because even when it hurts, it helps. Even when it confuses, it completes. Even when it delays, it delivers. God does not lead you to break you. He leads you to build you. He does not lead you to frustrate you. He leads you to free you. Sometimes His path will take you through uncomfortable places to stretch your faith. Sometimes He will remove people you love to make room for what you need. Sometimes He will strip away what you thought you couldn't live without, to show you that all you ever needed was Him. Allowing God to lead means allowing Him to redefine your comfort zone. When you let God lead, your vision changes. You stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as tests. You stop viewing delays as denials and start recognizing them as divine timing. You stop fighting against the current and start flowing with His will. You understand that not everything that happens is meant to destroy you. Some things are designed to develop you. You may not see it in the moment, but every step, every detour, every disappointment carries a lesson that is shaping your destiny. God's leadership is never random. He does not make mistakes. If He took you there, it's because there is something for you to learn there. If He allowed it, it's because He intends to use it. So don't resist His leading, reverence it. To be led by God is to walk by faith, not by sight. Sight will deceive you, faith will direct you. Sight will tell you the path is blocked. Faith will tell you God can make a way. Sight will focus on what you lost. Faith will see what's coming. Sight looks at the visible. Faith trusts in the invisible. That is why you must allow God to lead every part of your day. Not just the big moments, but the small ones too. Because sometimes the smallest decisions carry the greatest consequences. Sometimes one wrong conversation, one emotional reaction, one impatient move can alter your path. But if you let God lead even in the small moments, how you respond, how you speak, how you think, you begin to walk with divine discipline. You begin to carry a quiet strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances. The world will tell you to trust yourself, but self-trust without divine guidance leads to self-destruction. You are not meant to be your own God. You are meant to be guided by God. When you lean on your own understanding, you will make decisions out of fear, pride, or impatience. But when you lean on divine direction, you will make decisions out of wisdom, peace, and clarity. Let God lead you through the unknown. Do not demand to see the whole map. Just follow the next step. Because faith does not reveal the entire journey. It only illuminates the next move. God reveals just enough to keep you dependent, just enough to keep you humble, and just enough to keep you trusting. That is how He trains your spirit to walk by faith and not by sight. When you let God lead, you stop competing with others and start cooperating with purpose. You stop comparing your timeline with theirs. You stop worrying about who is ahead or behind, because you know you are exactly where you are meant to be. You understand that divine timing cannot be rushed or delayed. What is meant for you will find you when you are ready, not when you are restless. Allowing God to lead means trusting His calendar more than your clock. It means saying, even if it hasn't happened yet, it will happen when it's supposed to. Because when you follow divine timing, you are never late. You are perfectly aligned. There are days when you will feel lost, when you will not hear a clear answer, when everything around you seems uncertain. But that is when you must trust God the most. That is when you must remember that His silence is not abandonment, it is direction in disguise. Sometimes He hides Himself not to punish you, but to purify you. He allows silence so that you will learn to listen to the stillness within. Because true guidance is not always loud. It's often quiet. It's not always in the thunder. Sometimes it's in the whisper. When you are sensitive to the voice of God, even the smallest sign becomes a message. Even the simplest moment becomes divine. To allow God to lead you every day means to stop forcing what's not flowing. Stop chasing what keeps running. Stop trying to revive what God is trying to remove. When He leads, He will not always tell you why. He will simply tell you to go. And that's where your faith must rise. Because obedience without understanding is the highest form of trust. It's easy to follow when everything makes sense, but real faith begins when logic ends. Real faith is saying, I don't know how this will work out, but I know God is leading me. And when you move with that kind of faith, doors open that you never even knocked on. People appear that you never even searched for. Opportunities align that you never even imagined. Because God leads those who trust Him more than they trust their own reasoning. When you truly allow God to lead you every day, something remarkable begins to happen inside you. The noise of the world grows faint, and the voice of God grows louder. The pull of fear weakens, and the strength of faith rises. You stop reacting to life, and you start responding to divine instruction. You begin to notice that the things that used to shake you no longer have the same power. You begin to walk through storms without panic, because you know who is guiding your steps. When God is leading you, even the unpredictable becomes purposeful. Even what you did not plan becomes part of a greater plan. You no longer question every setback, because you know that behind every obstacle lies a hidden lesson. You no longer fear change, because you know that God's direction often comes through redirection. Letting God lead every day is not just a decision. It is a discipline. It requires daily surrender. It requires the humility to say, I do not know what is best for me, but God does. It requires the maturity to admit that your plans are not always perfect, but God's will is flawless. You see, the human heart often believes it knows what it needs. But there is a difference between what you want and what will sustain you. There is a difference between what looks good and what leads to peace. And only God can reveal that difference. When you follow your own understanding, you may reach what you desire, but lose what truly matters. But when you allow God to lead, you may not always get what you expect, but you will always receive what your soul truly needs. The challenge is that human nature resists surrender. We like control. We like certainty. We like to plan the outcome before we take the first step. But the path of divine guidance is not a straight road. It is a sacred walk of faith. God will not show you every detail because He wants you to learn trust, not just knowledge. He will not give you the full picture because He wants you to depend on His voice every single day. If He showed you everything at once, you would stop seeking Him. So He reveals His will in fragments, in whispers, in seasons, just enough to keep you near Him. Every morning, you must return to that posture of surrender and say, "Lead me again, God. Direct me again today." Because guidance is not a one-time event. It is a continual relationship. And when you live in that daily relationship with divine guidance, peace becomes your companion. You no longer chase it. It follows you. Because peace is not found in knowing every answer. Peace is found in knowing who holds every answer. When God leads, you may not always understand the path, but you will always sense the peace. That peace is the signature of divine leadership. It's that calm assurance in your spirit that tells you, even though I don't have everything figured out, I am exactly where I am meant to be. It's the silent confidence that whispers, God is still in control, and that peace will protect you from despair. It will guard your mind from overthinking and your heart from fear. When God leads, He will sometimes take you out of what is familiar to show you what is greater. He will call you away from comfort to prepare you for calling. The people around you may not understand it. They may say you are making a mistake. But when you are led by divine wisdom, you will not always be understood because the ways of God are not the ways of man. When God leads you, He will sometimes remove you from circles that no longer align with your purpose. He will close doors that others are begging to open. He will isolate you for a season, not because He wants you to be lonely, but because He wants you to be ready. Solitude with God is never wasted. It is sacred preparation. When He leads, He refines. When He leads, He strengthens. When He leads, He teaches you how to hear His whisper in the midst of the world's noise. To be led by God is to develop the art of listening. And listening is not just about hearing words, it is about perceiving direction. God speaks through peace, through silence, through signs, through conviction. Sometimes He speaks through opportunities, sometimes through obstacles, but He always speaks to those who are still enough to listen. If your heart is full of noise, you will miss His whisper. If your mind is full of worry, you will overlook His guidance. This is why spiritual stillness is essential. You must learn to quiet your emotions, to silence your fears, to steady your mind, so that your spirit can receive what God is trying to show you. When you allow God to lead you every day, you learn that delays are not denials. They are divine timing. What seems late to you is right on time in God's schedule. You may be praying for something that has not yet come, but God is not ignoring you. He is arranging everything to align perfectly. There are people He must prepare, doors He must open, situations He must correct before He releases what you asked for. Trust that. Stop measuring God's timing with your impatience. His delay is His protection. His not yet is His way of saying, I am still working behind the scenes. If you force what is not ready, you will ruin what could have been perfect. So wait. Wait in faith. Wait in surrender. Wait knowing that when God leads, His timing is flawless. And understand this, when God leads you, He doesn't just change your path, He transforms your perception. You start seeing through spiritual eyes. You begin to notice the hand of God in ordinary moments. A closed door becomes a message. A delay becomes a lesson. A disappointment becomes direction. This is how spiritual maturity grows, through the awareness that God is leading, even when life feels uncertain. The immature demand explanations. The mature simply trust the process because they know that God's wisdom is infinite and His plans are perfect. When you let God lead, you stop trying to control people. You stop trying to fix everything and everyone around you. You learn that your responsibility is obedience, not outcome. You obey, and God handles the results. You sow the seed, and God determines the harvest. You speak the truth, and God changes the hearts. Many lose peace because they carry burdens that were never theirs to carry. They try to be the leader instead of the follower. But when you truly let God lead, you release the weight of control and rest in the power of faith. You begin to live lighter, walk freer, and move with confidence because you know you are not navigating life alone. Letting God lead does not mean life will be easy. It means life will be purposeful. You will still face storms, but the difference is that now you will not drown in them. You will still encounter valleys, but now you will walk through them with peace. You will still face opposition, but you will stand firm because you know who is guiding you. God does not promise an easy path, but He promises a victorious destination. He does not remove the mountain. He strengthens your legs to climb it. He does not always calm the storm. Sometimes He teaches you how to rest in the boat while the storm rages. Divine leadership builds endurance. It molds character. It purifies motives. It transforms your heart until you no longer desire your own will, but only the will of God. When you follow divine direction, you begin to live above fear. You no longer fear what's ahead because you know who is ahead. You no longer worry about tomorrow because you know who holds tomorrow. You begin to understand that even your mistakes cannot derail God's purpose. Even when you take the wrong turn, He can redirect you. Even when you fall, He can restore you. Because divine leadership is not fragile, it is merciful. God knows how to bring beauty from your brokenness. He knows how to turn your detours into destiny, but you must allow Him to take the wheel. Stop fighting for control. Stop trying to plan what only God can plan. You are not the author of your story. He is, and His version is always better than yours. Each morning you rise, remind yourself that today is not yours. It belongs to God. Invite Him into your thoughts, your plans, your words, and your emotions. Do not begin your day in rush and noise. Begin it in surrender and stillness. Say within your heart, God, guide my steps, filter my thoughts, and order my path. When you make that your daily posture, you will notice divine alignment. People will appear at the right time. Opportunities will unfold effortlessly. What used to feel heavy will feel lighter. What used to confuse you will begin to make sense. Because divine guidance removes friction. It replaces stress with serenity and confusion with clarity. When you let God lead, even your mistakes become messages. Even your failures become fuel. Even your pain becomes purpose. Because nothing is wasted in divine hands. God uses everything to shape you, strengthen you, and sanctify you. That is why those who allow God to lead never truly lose. They either win or learn. They either rise or are refined. There is no defeat in divine direction. There is only redirection toward what is best. When you truly let God lead your life, you begin to walk with a quiet strength that does not depend on circumstances. You no longer need everything to go your way to feel at peace, because your peace no longer depends on outcomes. It depends on alignment. The storms may rage, people may misunderstand you, plans may change, but your heart remains still. Because you know something others do not. You are being guided by a higher hand. You no longer ask, why is this happening? But rather, what is God teaching me through this? That question alone shifts your entire perspective. Because now, instead of resisting life, you are learning from it. Instead of fighting change, you are flowing with divine purpose. When you let God lead, every challenge becomes a classroom, and every moment becomes a message. Too many people pray for guidance, but few are willing to follow it when it comes. They want divine direction to confirm their desires, not correct them. But true guidance is not about agreement, it's about alignment. When God leads, He will not always tell you what you want to hear, but He will always tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes, what you need to hear will challenge your comfort zone. Sometimes, His direction will lead you away from what is easy. Because ease does not produce elevation. His leading is meant to stretch you, not soothe you. To grow you, not gratify you. And that's why many resist it. They want blessings without change, promises without process, glory without guidance. But if you truly want the life God has prepared for you, you must be willing to follow wherever He leads, even when it doesn't make sense. God's path will never contradict His peace, but it will often confront your pride. He will ask you to release what you think you need. He will ask you to forgive what you would rather resent. He will ask you to move forward when your heart wants to stay still. Because the divine path is not about comfort, it's about transformation. Every time you surrender to God's leading, you shed another layer of fear, ego, and doubt. You become lighter. You become clearer. You begin to move with grace instead of striving. The more you surrender, the freer you become, because the power of divine guidance lies not in control, but in trust. When you allow God to lead you daily, He begins to protect you in ways you cannot see. Some of the people who walked away were not losses. They were divine removals. Some of the doors that closed were not rejections. They were redirections. Some of the plans that failed were not punishments, they were protections. God leads you by what He allows, but also by what He prevents. And one day you will look back and thank Him for every unanswered prayer, because you will realize He was never withholding, He was safeguarding. When you let God lead, you begin to trust that what doesn't happen is just as important as what does. You stop forcing outcomes and you start flowing in divine timing. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you for saving me from what I didn't see." Letting God lead is also about letting go. You cannot be led while you are holding tightly to what He is trying to release. You cannot step into the next chapter while clinging to the last one. When God leads, He often begins with subtraction. He takes away what blocks your vision so He can reveal what's beyond it. He removes what you think you cannot live without, so you can discover that He is all you ever needed. Letting go is not loss, it is liberation. When you surrender what you cannot control, you make room for what is meant to be. You cannot carry both control and peace. They cannot coexist. So each day, let your prayer be, "God, take from me whatever keeps me from following you." That is how freedom begins. And as you follow God's lead, you will notice something powerful. He does not lead through fear, but through faith. Fear shouts, but faith whispers. Fear demands proof, but faith trusts presence. When God leads, He does not need to explain every detail. He gives you enough light for the next step, not the whole staircase. Because if you saw everything at once, you would either run ahead or run away. Divine guidance requires daily trust, step by step, moment by moment, choice by choice. And in that rhythm of trust, your spirit begins to mature. You learn patience, you learn discernment, you learn how to distinguish between impulse and inspiration, between emotion and direction, between noise and truth. When God leads, you begin to experience life as a divine conversation. Every event, every encounter, every delay becomes a part of that sacred dialogue. Sometimes He speaks through peace that settles your heart. Sometimes through discomfort that stirs your spirit. Sometimes through opportunities that open, and sometimes through obstacles that close. But to the one who listens deeply, God is never silent. He is always speaking through nature, through intuition, through circumstances, through the stillness of the soul. That is why allowing God to lead requires sensitivity. You must learn to quiet the outer world so that the inner world can hear. In silence, you will find clarity. In stillness, you will find strength. To walk under divine guidance also means to move with purpose, not pressure. The world will try to rush you, but God will train you to rest. The world will measure your worth by speed, but God measures it by substance. When you let Him lead, you learn that what matters most is not how fast you go, but how faithfully you follow. You stop chasing timelines and start embracing seasons. You realize that everything beautiful in life unfolds in divine order. Flowers bloom when it's their time, rivers flow when it's their time, and blessings arrive when it's their time. When you rush ahead of God, you may enter something prematurely. And what begins in haste often ends in heartbreak. But when you let Him lead, you learn that patience is not passive, it's powerful. It is the posture of trust that says, I will not force what God is still forming. And as He leads, you will notice that your desires begin to transform. What you once wanted no longer satisfies you. The things that used to excite you begin to lose their hold. You begin to crave depth instead of distraction, purpose instead of popularity, truth instead of trends. This is the refinement that comes from divine leadership. God will change not only your path, but your palate. He will purify your desires until they align with His wisdom. That is when true contentment begins. When your heart stops chasing what was never meant for you and starts resting in what is divinely assigned to you. Allowing God to lead you every day also teaches you endurance, because the path of faith is not free from struggle. It is full of sacred strength. When you are led by God, you will not be exempt from trials, but you will be empowered to overcome them. You will learn that pressure is not meant to destroy you, but to define you. Each challenge will refine your character, deepen your trust, and reveal the power within you. Divine leadership does not remove storms, teaches you how to stand in the middle of them. When God leads, even your tears water the soil of your destiny. Even your pain becomes the proof that you are growing. And when you walk closely with God, you realize that the path is not about achievement. It is about alignment. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. The goal is not to impress others. It is to live in harmony with divine purpose. Every day becomes an act of worship when you live under divine direction. Every action, every thought, every decision becomes a reflection of surrender. This is where true peace is found, not in doing more, but in being more aligned with God's will. When you let God lead, you no longer fear the unknown, because the unknown is only unknown to you, not to God. He has already walked ahead of you. He has already prepared the way. You may not see it, but He has already arranged every connection, every opportunity, every outcome that you need. Your job is not to predict. Your job is to follow. When you trust that God goes before you, you stop living in anxiety and start living in expectancy. You begin to say, whatever comes, I am ready, because I know who leads me. That is divine confidence, not arrogance, but assurance. Assurance that your life is in the hands of the one who never fails. There will be days when you do not feel strong, when confusion clouds your mind, when the path seems hidden. But that is when you must remind yourself, divine leadership is not based on feeling, it is based on faith. Even when you don't feel His presence, He is still leading you. Even when you don't hear His voice, He is still speaking through circumstance. Even when you feel lost, He knows exactly where you are. Your emotions do not define His presence. His promise does. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep surrendering. Because every step you take in faith draws you closer to the purpose that has been waiting for you all along. And finally, when you allow God to lead you every day, you discover the highest freedom, the freedom from worry. You stop trying to control tomorrow because you know that God is already there. You stop fearing what's next because you know that divine wisdom governs your path. You begin to live each day with gratitude, not anxiety, with peace, not panic, with trust, not turmoil. Because to live led by God is to live in alignment with truth itself. And there is no greater strength, no deeper peace, no higher wisdom than walking in step with the one who created you.